Another terror attack, this time in Barcelona. A car ramming a crowd. Same tactic used many times before. It's common because it's easy, and also because we've hardened other targets. It's a tragic byproduct of our own progress in preventing larger horror. So what's this mean for us, for the world? As always, we need more intelligence and surveillance and cooperation, meaning we have to stop seeing security and freedom as competing forces, and instead see them as siblings helping each other out. Freedom and security go hand in hand. That's why we must always try to harden soft targets. When you hear commentators remind you of the low risk of attack, they do it from a safe space like here, surrounded by guards and bulletproof glass. Which makes me wonder, why are we so special and you aren't? Security as an industry should be bigger than technology or media. If you can major in physics, you should be able to major in security. But I fear it may be too late. The way we respond to terror, obviously we are shocked, but shocked in a way that includes no context, no sense of history, no idea of why this keeps happening and what might happen next. We treat it like an extreme weather pattern. We take in the visuals, then decide it's unavoidable, and then we return to our phones. And the media, hell, they get more outraged over statues which don't even move. Terror moves. We've taken our eye off the ball, and I fear what comes next. What will the next 9/11 be? The kind of spectacle we refuse to fathom. When terror and technology wed, we will ask ourselves how this could happen and see this terrible period now as the good old days. Terry,
yes, sir.
You fight terrorists. And you fought them for a living.
25 years, almost.
Yeah.
I just retired in October.
What are we doing wrong? What could we do better?
You got to give me like more than 30 seconds because I flew up here today to do this damn shit.
Yeah!
Sorry. Thanks.
Woo!
All right,
sorry, we'll be right back.
We'll be right back. Add cut. Add cut. Okay. I'm talking now about the homegrown terror stuff.
Right.
Okay. I've heard everything about everybody else, and I've been doing that my whole life. Here's the phrase, and you need to remember this. Sometimes you need to become what you aren't in order to protect and ensure the future survival of what you actually are. That's the principle behind self-defense. It's also the principle behind a lot of wars. We do it, but we don't want to. You do what is necessary. Now, before anybody calls me an Islamophobe, I've spent a lot of my adult life over in the Middle East. I've lived with Arabs. I've trained their soldiers. I've fought. I've bled. I've watched them die. As a Green Beret medic, I've delivered their babies, pulled their teeth, inoculated their farm animals. And I've helped them the whole time. So don't ever call me an Islamophobe for what I'm about to say, because probably most of you have never done what I've done. I'm sorry, I'm getting a little militant about it. Here's the thing. You got to understand what's going on over there. You got to understand them. People talking, the talking heads, you don't know how these folks think. They are worried about their family, their clan, and their tribe. They do not have a national identity. That's why it's such a hard sell. And most Middle Eastern countries are either kingdoms, theocracies, or dictatorships, because you have to crush them to hold them together.
Right.
Fast forward to the guys who are living here in the West, the killers, not the regular Islamic people. What do they care about? They hate the country they live in. Their words, not mine. Their actions, not mine. What do they care about? They care about their family. They care about that group. So anytime one of these guys does this, that whole family gets picked up and deported back to the country of origin. And I got to tell you something. On the way here today, this isn't some, yeah, America right. I do what is necessary. Green Berets are problem solvers. I talked to my driver coming in from the airport. He's from Pakistan. I know a little bit about Pakistan. He was surprised I even knew where he came by in his name. We were talking back and forth in a friendly way, and I posited this to him. And you know what he said? He goes, that would work. They know. They know what it is. And right now there's no impetus in the United States or the Western Europe countries for the Muslim community as a whole to actually do something about this. Because as soon as one of them kills, we mourn, we put up our emojis, and then we tell the rest of them, we love you, we don't want to hurt you. And that's the way it goes. Does anybody know what happened to San Bernardino family?
Yeah.
The Pulse nightclub killer, the Boston Marathon, they're all still here.
Right.
Move them out. And I'm telling you now, you take from them what they care about, and it will slow down, if not stop.
Good point. Kennedy, I bet you agree.
No, here's what I will say.
One more thing.
Yep.
And if you don't want to do something like that, you are not serious about stopping homegrown terrorism, and you are tacitly admitting that you are willing to accept a certain level of death. That's what you're doing.
All right.
Words don't help. Clever articles don't help. Witty stuff doesn't help.
Okay, but what
I'm sorry.
No,
I'm done for the night.
No, but what I will say is I have far more respect for someone like Terry, who has actually fought for freedom, because the men and women who have worn the uniform for this country to fight for freedom, that is sacred, and that is a level that civilians will never understand, but that is something that we absolutely share.
Right.
And I think, you know, to your point, we have to have, and I don't agree with your hysteria. I think that you have a way of selling security that is short-sighted and less informed than someone like Terry, who truly has been all over the world and knows how the world works in that sense.
I should travel more, you're saying.
Absolutely.
I didn't say that, Chief.
But what I will say is...
And by the way, you didn't have to say short about sighted.
I heard it.
She is microaggressing me.
It's a macroaggression. But what I will say is that there have to be some non-traditional solutions to these problems that hopefully don't compromise civil liberties, but people who have actually been on the front line have a way of thinking outside of the box that we're scared to talk about and we're scared to implement in this country for fear of breaking cultural mores.
I think you're absolutely right. And I mean, I get my information from him and from people in terror intelligence, counterintelligence, all that stuff. I got to get to this pair over here. Kat?
Hi.
Hi. You were in the Green Berets.
Yeah, for 26 years.
But it was a pop band.
Damn it, 26?
Yeah. I started when I was 2. Very talented. I'm a very talented in combat.
Those were the
Very talented.
those were the green diapers. Go ahead.
Go ahead. Well, obviously, I agree with pretty much everything that Kennedy thinks, and not many of the things that you think when it comes to this issue. I do think that, you know, a lot of the threat, it's easy to get emotional about these things, but I don't think that good policy comes from a place of emotion. And we
Thank God you're not emotional.
We can't. I'm incredibly emotional, but I should never be in government. I'm not trying to be in government. I talk for a living. I'm not trying to make, not me for president. Okay, for real.
I'm not writing you
Never tips. Hashtag never tips. Okay, for real. But, you know, we have to make sure that we don't destroy our own freedom in the process ourselves, because we're afraid that they will destroy our freedom. We got to make sure we don't take away our civil liberties. We have to make sure that we're not afraid to travel and have fun and live our lives.
I disagree with everything you've said. I don't believe in the slippery slope.
So I should be president.
Yes. Tyrus?
I mean, to surmise what he says, sometimes you got to be the wolf and protect the sheep. I agree with that.
I'm a sheepdog.
But I would just like to stretch that a little further. I think that should go for everyone that is a homegrown terrorist. Your whole family got to go. So if you're an Irish terrorist and you decide to blow up some stuff, you and the whole fam got to go.
I got no problem with that.
Yeah, I think that's great.
But right now we have a very specific enemy.
Yeah, I agree with you.
And I want to say this too. I actually don't want big government surveillance. I don't want the big intelligence machine. First of all, it's expensive, it's not effective, and it just doesn't work. My solution, and by the way, it's not emotional. I hope you don't think it is. No. It's heartfelt, but like I said, I survived on the battlefield because I'm not emotional. And what I'm doing with this kind of idea is I'm putting it on them. It's up to you, community. I'm not going to surveil you. I'm not going to. But if you do this, I'm letting you know. I'm putting you on notice. What you care about is going to pay for it.
But I think people like you actually have a better sense of how people like that. Like normally, a free society and
you can't get your head around it.
And having stuff and opportunity, it dissuades people from becoming murderous psychopaths. That doesn't work with jihadists. And we have to come up with a new way of replacing that ideology. And it's not necessarily killing thousands of people in the Middle East. I don't think that works. And surveillance, also, to your point, the unintended consequences.
Bad news.
We got to go, you guys. We got to go.